Antonio Costa, the incoming president of the European Council, met with the Italian Prime Minister ahead of officially starting in the role later this year.
At least 6 people have been killed and 7 others injured in a shooting in an old people's home in Croatia.
The incumbent president of the European Council, Antonio Costa, kick-started his tenure by visiting Italy, a country that voted against his appointment. Costa met with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, choosing Rome as the first stop of his tour of European capitals. As a founding country of the EU, he said it was important to take note of Italy's priorities. In a statement, Costa said it was paramount for him to assess the perspectives and priorities of EU member states. Meloni hosted him at the Prime Minister's official residence in the Italian capital, where the pair sat down for talks. They discussed the priorities for EU actions for the next institutional cycle, according to the Italian Prime Minister's office. Costa, the former Prime Minister of Portugal, will replace Charles Michel as the Council's president from the start of December.
At least 6 people have been killed and 7 were injured in a shooting in an elderly people home in the central Croatian town of Daruvar, according to authorities. People said that a man using firearms killed and wounded several people. A nurse working in the home said as soon as they heard shots fired, they ran.
Molim?
Slagala lijekove i čula rafale. I to je to.
I onda?
Smo bježali.
Kako ste se spasili?
Ispod kreveta i tu je šef pobjegao kroz prozor. Ana je samo vikala da bježite djeca. I kroz prozor i kod Antonija smo u knjižaru. I to je to.
The suspect who fled the scene was later caught by police. According to local media, the man is believed to have killed his mother. Authorities are now investigating the attack.
This is no ordinary walk in the park. This is forest bathing, where people immerse themselves in nature, typically for a couple of hours.
So we're just going to walk really slowly and start to pay attention to everything that's coming into our senses and just really slow down.
Fiona McDougall is a guide specialized in the practice that has its roots in Japan. Unlike hiking, it's not about going to a particular destination or getting a workout. It's about connecting with nature in all its elements, from the sights to the sounds, to the smells, to the textures.
So I hope that through practices like this, people feel a stronger connection to the natural world, which is where we're all from, really. And so in feeling that connection, I hope people just feel better, a stronger relationship to nature and, a greater appreciation for it and their place within it.
There's science backing up the idea that nature has a positive impact. One study in Germany found that a walk in the forest can help the brain process stress better. Even the sounds of nature can be a boost.
So essentially we showed a group of healthy participants or exposed them to bird songs versus traffic noise, and we found that those people exposed to bird songs showed a decrease in anxiety, depression, and paranoia.
I invite you to either close your eyes or soften your gaze.
Forest bathing is centered around relaxation, so Fiona ends the walk with a meditation. One of the parks she chooses is in central Berlin. She says she hopes to convince people connecting with nature can be convenient, and it has benefits even if done briefly in the city. There's science to support that as well. A report by the World Health Organization says that green spaces in urban environments, such as parks and trees on streets, have a wide range of positive effects, including protecting against poor mental health.
Thousands of people have demonstrated in Mallorca against what they say are the negative impacts of overtourism. Organisers of the march say uncontrolled tourist numbers are causing a drop in wages, loss of quality of life and an increase in the price of housing.
I ara és el moment que deim basta, que volem mesures concretes per limitar i decréixer el nombre de turistes que venen i millorar el benestar de la població local.
Last year, Mallorca's airport authority, AENA, said departures and arrivals at Palma Airport for July alone were up 5.9% compared to the same month in 2022, with 4.3 million people passing through. That meant Palma was the third most popular summer destination in Spain, behind Madrid and Barcelona. And in Barcelona earlier this month, around 3,000 people protested against the impact of over-tourism. They were calling for action before a summer season that experts say will set new records in the city. Barcelona is Spain's most visited city, receiving 12 million people a year, many of whom arrive via cruise ship. But tourism is big business in Spain. The tourism lobby group Exceltur said tourism accounted for 71% of real growth in the Spanish economy last year. But many locals say they're not reaping the benefits and want more action to better manage the number of arrivals. Tributes have been paid from across Europe to Joe Biden, who announced on Sunday he was pulling out of the presidential race. Biden said it had been the greatest honor of his life to serve as president, adding that he was endorsing his vice president Kamala Harris to replace him at the top of the ticket. He said he would speak to the nation later this week in more detail about his decision. From Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked Biden for his unwavering support in the 2 years since the Russian invasion. "We will always be thankful for President Biden's leadership," he said, adding, "We respect today's tough but strong decision." Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk praised Biden for his difficult decisions, which he said made Poland, America and the world safer. He also said the decision to drop out of the presidential race was probably the most difficult decision Biden had had to make. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said, "I respect President Biden's decision and I look forward to us working together during the remainder of his presidency." Starmer added that he knew that Biden had made his decision based on what he believes is best for the American people. Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz referred to Biden as "my friend," adding thanks to him, transatlantic cooperation is close, NATO is strong, and the USA is a good and reliable partner for us. His decision not to run again deserves recognition. "All my admiration and recognition for the brave and dignified decision of the President," began Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez. "A great gesture from a great president who has always fought for democracy and freedom," he said. A Lebanese photojournalist who was wounded in an Israeli strike has carried the Olympic torch in Paris to honor press workers wounded and killed in the field. Christina Assi, who works for the AFP, was one of 6 journalists struck by Israeli shelling in southern Lebanon last year. The Israeli military said the incident was under review, maintaining that it didn't target journalists. The torch relay started in May and saw around 10,000 people carry the flame across France.
Can the North Sea become a refuge for vacationers in need of freshness? With global warming, the Belgian coast might become the French Riviera of tomorrow. While part of southern Europe is hit by heat waves, some tourists prefer to walk by 25 degrees Celsius in July in Knockheist, a posh seaside resort in the Flemish coast on the North Sea. And this phenomenon already has a name: coolcations, which means holiday destinations chosen for their cooler climate to offer a respite in the summer heat.
Wij hebben daar verschillende tools voor en wij merken uiteraard dat de buitenlandse toeristen meer en meer naar onze kust komen. Zeker in de zomermaanden, omdat in het zuiden, Spanje, Italië, Portugal, Marokko, noem maar op, veel te warm is. Hier hebben wij altijd de frisse, tussen haakjes, zalige zeelucht, zoals een dag van vandaag.
Vacationers crossed on the pier come from Belgium or neighboring countries.
Ja, soms denken we er wel over na als je denkt aan de klimaatsveranderingen en de vele klimaatgebeurtenissen in Griekenland en zo verder. Dat we niet altijd ver hoeven te gaan om toch ook een mooie vakantie te hebben.
But I honestly believe our coast has a lot to offer because it's close, like here in Knock, it's very close to a village. You have the shopping street where you can do some shopping. You can visit some art galleries.
For others, it is out of the question to turn their back to the Mediterranean sun. Some will adapt their habits, shift their holidays in May or September in the south, and favor a cooler destination like Knock in July and August.
Hier is het wat minder weer, dus men neemt vlug een ticket naar het zuiden, omdat het daar iets beter is dan hier. De vrees is natuurlijk dat het daar soms dan te warm kan zijn, wat ook al gebeurd is.
However, the phenomenon of coolcations could increase in the coming decades. In a trajectory of plus 3 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, the heat wave will be unbearable in summer around the Mediterranean, while temperatures will remain pleasant in Belgium, says Xavier Vetwijs, climatologist at the University of Liège.
Au niveau belge, à la dire des terres, on sera avec le climat du Gers et Liège. Typiquement, à la fin du siècle, on aurait le climat de Toulouse. Donc, c'est un climat tout à fait agréable, méditerranéen. Mais l'eau de mer de la Manche, elle mettra beaucoup plus de temps à se réchauffer. Donc, on n'aura pas de l'eau comme on a en Méditerranée à 27-28 degrés.
Located further north, however, Belgium enjoys lower luminosity than the Mediterranean region, which could overshadow its tourism ambitions. Another challenge is coastal erosion and rising sea levels that could significantly reshape coastal landscapes.